So hello and welcome to another episode of Steam's Four Wheels. As you can tell from the title, I have some very important news to say, sort of, and that is the SLK has actually gone. Now I will hold my hands up now and I will say that it hasn't actually been sold. The SLK has not been sold, it's still in my possession, and I've shamelessly used clickbait, which I apologise for. However, the SLK has gone in a sort of way, and that's why I said sort of before, because the problem that I've had with the SLK recently is that it's been stored out in the garage over there. Now when we bought the house, the garage wasn't in the best state. It does need a bit of work, particularly to the roof. It all needs to be doing, but particularly the roof is quite bad, and it's recently getting worse, and sort of worries me when you look up and you can see quite a bit of daylight coming from the roof, which, you know, I'm not a builder, I'm not some sort of architect, but I do know that's probably not a good thing. So I've had to basically move the SLK out, and because I pamper the SLK quite a bit, I don't like to generally leave it outside, particularly over the winter. I do worry about all the seals that are in the roof, all the rubber seals that go in every part of the roof, and obviously it folds up and everything. Then I worry about leaving them exposed in the winter and getting too cold and also too hot if we get any sun during the winter. So I think the plan is to leave it with my parents over the winter, get the worst of the winter out of the way, and then probably bring it down here at some point next spring, and I will probably leave it outside, but it will have probably a cover or some sort of portable garage. I'm going to have to research that. I've got a good 6 months now to research that. So that's where I'm at the moment. Now the idea that the SLK has been sold hasn't entirely been untouched recently, because I have actually thought about selling it, and this is where this video will get quite complicated now. That's the easy part, explaining the SLK has gone, but not sort of gone. Sort of gone in a way, but not in another sense as well. Basically, I've looked at the SLK and I've looked at the amount of use that I get out of it, and I'm starting to find it hard to justify the use that I get of the SLK, because a lot of the times if I'm going to shows now, I'll generally take my girlfriend along with me, and I've also got our 2 dogs as well, as you've probably seen in the previous videos. And the SLK unfortunately can't take all 4 of us. It's nice as the SLK is, it can't seat 4 of us, and it's extremely unpractical at times. Obviously, when I bought the SLK, my circumstances were completely different, and that having a 2-seater sports car was absolutely fine. This has also been compounded because you may or may not know, in the UK, used car prices have actually gone up recently. And I don't know if that's because people are changing their cars quite a bit, whether people work from home, they realise now they've got something different. I don't know. But anyway, used car prices are actually quite strong at the moment. To the point where nearly new cars are actually costing more than brand new cars, purely because, again, the supply for parts for new cars is struggling. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. So all you need to know is that used prices are going up. And I did see recently Mercedes-Benz near me were advertised for cars up to 10 years old, up to 80,000 miles, and they needed stock fit that category. My car's that category, it's only just over 30,000 miles, it is nearly 10 years old, so it just about fits in. So I went off for a quote, and it came back, obviously 3 different prices depending on the condition. I think my car, not immaculate, but I think it probably sit around about the middle. And it was quite a surprise. I didn't think I'd get that much for it, to be honest, and it is quite tempting. But then the other side of that is that actually it's, if I was to sell it and have something else, I'm not too sure what I'd have. I do like the SLK. I like the fact that actually it bucks the trend. I like being different. I like things that are just bucking the trend. And the SLK, you think of 2-seater sports cars at the moment, and they've sort of had a bit of a revival in the 2000s, and now they're sort of fading out again. And I actually quite like that. I like the idea of things that are fading out, or things that are just coming about. I mean, I admire Bath. Before, baths were cool. Now it's sort of, people are aware that the bath's a bit more, and I admire before actually it sort of became cool to having a bath, and people became a bit mainstream, people knew more about them. So A, I wouldn't know what to have. B, the prices of used cars has gone up, and that means then actually I don't get as much for my money. So on one hand, yes, I'm getting more for my SLK, but then hang on, I'm not actually getting better deal on another car because the prices of other cars that I might want to get have gone up as well. So whether it's sort of justified, I'm not too sure. I have to also throw into this argument that I do still like the SLK. It doesn't cost me the world to run. It is a bit of a luxury, to be honest, but it doesn't cost me the earth to run. It's been very kind to me in the 3 years I've had. I've only had one fault on it. That wasn't like something like consumable. For example, I've had to replace tyres before now. I sort of factor that in, that at some point I'm going to have to replace the tyres in the car, windscreen wipers, batteries, stuff like that. They all consume, you know. I mean, it costs me probably about £800-900 just in the basic sort of tax, about just over £200. Again, servicing and MOT, that's probably another £200. And then I pay about £600 for my insurance, plus I also buy a little bit of breakdown package. So you probably look about £1,000 maybe to actually keep the car on the road for a year, which is a lot of money for something that actually I haven't even. You think I've done £1,000, say I paid out this year, I haven't even done 1,000 miles in the car, you know. So it's not even £1 per mile at the moment. I have used it more in the past. I used to do 6,000 or 7,000 miles a year in it. But I think the way things have worked out, I'm just not using the car, and again, that justification of spending that sort of £1,000 on it, but then can I justify that anymore, and could I have something else that's a bit more usable and that fits me as a person? I'm always saying you should buy a car and use it, and if your circumstances change, you have to change your car, and I'm probably the biggest critic of that, and biggest sort of critic of people saying that and not changing the cars and not having a car that suits you. However, I'm probably now going to be contradicting myself, because actually I don't think I'm ready to actually sell the SLK. I'm not at all sentimental. I have actually been sorting stuff out recently and getting rid of stuff that I just don't use. And I think one thing that's come out of lockdowns and everything is giving me a lot of time to think about what I value in life, and that's the reason why I've set up this little desk, and I've got myself a bigger screen for my laptop so I can do dual screen stuff and when I'm doing all the editing. I appreciate like the Bose speaker that I've got here. I'm not at all advertising Bose. I'm not paid by them at all. I'd like to point that out. The reason I bought my Apple Mac is because I've always fancied one, and when my old computer was playing up and it was going quite slow, I decided to treat myself. And I appreciate these things because of what they do and what they bring to me, and that really is what I like about the SLK. Every time I get in it and drive it, it just makes me feel good about myself, and it just puts a smile on my face. I went out in it recently, and I went up to, turned out the drive here went up, and there's this fantastic crossroads, and I turned right out onto it. It's a nice straight road. I pulled out and just put my foot down to the floor. I don't often do that, and I did it in sport mode, and just to hear it racing away and the engine revving up and hear the turbo whine starting to kick in it, and it just put a big grin in my face. And it sounds like I think, no, I can't possibly sell this car. It's not right. It's not the right time. You know, I don't think I'm quite done with it. And when I've sold other cars before, when I had my Bath and when I had my BXR, I had them and it felt like the right time. Something in me said, yeah, I'd like something new now. I need to change it. I'm not at that point yet with the SLK. And as I already mentioned, trying to find something else that drives as nicely as the SLK, that doesn't cost the world to insure and doesn't cost me lots in fuel. The SLK is quite a good all-rounder. That one is one of the first of the CGI engines, so it's turbocharged, so you actually get fuel economy out of it. It also came with a 7-speed gearbox, which is absolutely fantastic and lovely and smooth. If you just want to go out for a nice gentle drive, it's so smooth and it really doesn't bat an eyelid when you put your foot down either. So the SLK drives lovely, and I don't know if I'd ever actually have that again if I had another car. I don't know if I'd ever would spend the same amount of money that I would spend on the SLK, because again I wonder what value I'm getting for it. I have to admit I'm quite impressed with my girlfriend's Land Rover. I've been using quite a bit, and the fact it's down the garage today because something has broken on it, but we won't go into that here. It's another video altogether. So at the moment I'm carless today. I don't have the SLK. I don't also have Land Rover to use, so I'm sort of, it's And the first time I actually felt like I'm carless since the first time in quite a few years really, since I haven't been around and actually I've not had a car that I can use. Anyway, that's going off on a tangent. And as I say, I'm not ready to sell the SLK yet. I do apologise shamelessly for the clickbait. However, the SLK has gone, but probably not in the way that you jumped to the conclusion of, so I do apologise for that. It has gone, but it also hasn't gone at the same time. That makes sense. It hasn't gone out of my possession, it's just gone out the garage somewhere. Hence why there was a picture of an empty garage for my thumbnail on the video today. So, in terms of what's going on the channel, I've obviously got this video going out. I haven't done a video for a few weeks now. So I'm going to try and put this up. This is currently Friday morning. I'm going to try and get this out today later on. Next week I am going to go and put the Cars in the Park video. I'm going to Cars in the Park this Sunday, which is going to be interesting because I need to go and get the car cleaned tomorrow as well. So today's Friday, tomorrow I'm going to go and clean the car on Saturday, get it all ready for shows, and then on Sunday I'm going to go back up to my parents. I'll go up to my parents Saturday, I'll go come back down, then go back up again on Sunday, pick the car, take it up to the show. So it's starting to get very complicated. This is very, it gets complicated in terms of logistics now of what I'm going to do with the SLK and how I'm going to get to it. So next week's video will be Cars in the Park, which I'm going to on Sunday. The week after that I'm hopefully doing a Q&A session video. So again, if you do have any questions you want to ask me, please do pop them in the comments here, or you can drop me a message, and also use any of my socials as well. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. So I think that's it for today's video. I feel like I've been talking quite a bit and talking at you quite a bit, but I wanted to come back after my holiday with a little bit of a bang really. So I thought I'll maybe possibly use a tiny bit of clickbait and a little bit of artistic license there on a bit of a playing words. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully it clears it up a little bit. It was quite a big mouthy update today. I know I've talked quite a bit rather than I want to try and get out a little bit more. I've never quite seen the manage that at the moment. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep up to date with all the latest videos. You can also like and again comment if you want to comment on what I've said today. If you have an opinion about maybe what the used car market is, or even any suggestions of what car maybe I should look at next. It probably has to be a Mercedes though. That's the only thing. I do enjoy being a member of the Mercedes club, so I can't really constantly turn up in something else other than Mercedes. So that's where I'm going to leave today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.